Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. Get down to that description box, guys. Click on that Instagram link. I would love for you guys to give me a follow on Instagram. Y'all know I'm rebuilding a brand new Instagram page. My old Instagram page, Richard Fain 28, had over 90,000 followers on it. Great Instagram page, but Instagram shut it down late last year. So I had to create a brand new Instagram page, and that's Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. So if you want to follow me and see what I'm doing when I'm not on YouTube making YouTube videos, get down to the description box. Give me a follow on Instagram. Click on that Instagram link down there in the description box and give your boy a follow to kind of keep up with me, to see what I'm doing when I'm not on YouTube. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of more lifestyle stuff on the Instagram page, mixed with financial stuff, mixed with the cars. Y'all know I'm a big car guy. I've owned a lot of really nice cars over the years. And I'm starting to get back into that thing again. And I'm gonna be, showing the cars and the lifestyle on the Instagram page. So if you want to know a little bit more about me and the things that I do and enjoy doing when I'm not making YouTube videos, then give me a follow on Instagram. Get down to the Instagram link in the description box, click on it, give me a follow, and then just like a lot of you guys did yesterday, and I really appreciated that, a lot of you guys came over to Instagram and gave me a follow and said hello. And all I need you to put, if you want, is I'm rocking with you. Richard, I'm rocking with you. Send me a DM and say, hey, Richard, how you doing? And I'm rocking with you. That means so much to me. I got, 50 or 60 of you guys yesterday that did that, and it just made my day. So if you don't mind, if you want to follow me on Instagram, find out a little bit more about me when I'm not on YouTube, get down to the description box. Click on that Instagram link. Coming out with the website tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Just added some more really good digital products last night. I was up late, putting stuff together, getting the website together, and it's going to be live tomorrow, guys. I'm going to have it down in the description box tomorrow. So tomorrow, Friday, it goes live. I'm going to have a link to it down in the description box. And just keep in mind, it is going to still be a work in progress. We don't have everything turned on, so don't get in there and be like, well, where's the membership? You said you're going to have the membership. We're working on it. We're going to get all of that turned on eventually. Hopefully by next week, we'll have the membership turned on. We're working on it. Remember, I'm working on this with my daughter, so we're not professional website designers. So we're kind of working on it, but the main meat and potatoes are going to be the digital products, and then obviously the financial mentoring and coaching, and then the membership is going to be the other third piece. So the membership we're working on, we just got to get a few more things ironed out, and that'll be available, I hope, by next week or the following week. But everything else will be on the site. So if you're interested in rocking with me, getting good digital products, right? Financial products, financial tools that can help you build wealth. Because you guys got to remember, guys, I don't know everything. I'm just one guy. So I can't provide everybody all the information that you need to build wealth. So I have to go out and partner with resources that can bring expertise that I don't have, and I bring that to the website so that you guys, just like credit repair. I'm not an expert in credit repair, but I've partnered with an ebook company that prepares credit repair step by step that you can do at home. You ain't got to pay some guy $1,500, some guy $1,000 to repair your credit. Do it on your own. It's pretty simple when you have the information. So that information, I will have an ebook on the website that will take you through credit repair. So if you want to do it for yourself, do it for yourself. Don't pay somebody $500,000, $1,500, $2,000 when you can do the necessary steps yourself. And then the great news about that is you change the way you think about credit so that you don't get yourself back in with a bad credit score again 2 years from now. You got to learn, right? You got to learn from your mistakes. So the website will help you with that. We're going to have real estate investing 101. We're going to have stock market investing. We're going to have millionaire mindset. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going to be on there. So be on the lookout for that. Launching tomorrow, April 12th. I think tomorrow's April 12th. I lose track of my days, but April 12th. So be ready for that. And I hope you guys enjoy it and support it. If you want 7 free stocks, Moomoo is going to give you 7 free stocks when you open a new Moomoo brokerage account. You put $100 in that brokerage account, they're going to give you 7 free stocks, but not just any old regular schmegular stocks. They're going to give you the Magnificent 7. You're going to get fractional shares of the Magnificent 7. 7 fractional shares. But like I said, it's going to be the Magnificent 7. Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, right? Alphabet, Tesla. 7 fractional shares of 7 of the top companies in the world. When you list the top 15 countries, when you list the top 15 companies in the world, the Magnificent 7 are all in there, in the top 15, right? The top 3 companies in the world from a market cap standpoint are Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. Those are Magnificent 7 companies. You're going to get fractional shares of Magnificent 7 companies when you open a Moomoo account. Put $100 in there. That's what they're going to give you for trying out the brokerage app. If you're interested in that, go down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link, open up that Moomoo account today, go get that free stock, go get that free money. As you come in here, guys, please lock it in with a thumbs up. We got a lot to cover today, a lot to cover. So if you don't mind, do me a big favor, lock it in with a thumbs up just to let me know you're rocking with me, just to let me know you appreciate the content, and we're going to get moving. We got a lot to cover. We're going to cover the middle class and why, if they don't do something soon, game over. Game over. We're going to talk about that, how inflation is really financially destroying the middle class. And again, guys, see, a lot of y'all, not a lot of y'all, some of y'all take these videos as a doom and gloom situation. They're not, guys. They're not gloom and doom. They're the truth. See, a lot of us, we want to hide from the truth. We can't handle the truth. We want to hide from the truth. The truth is, if you don't get yourself financially in order, this inflation thing gonna run over you like a financial truck. It's gonna run right over you. So you can sit in this la-la land thinking everything's gonna be great when it's not. The real world is not great when it comes to financials right now. I just went over yesterday with you the inflation report. You got 3 months in a row inflation is starting to rear its ugly head and move up. This is not a game. This is real. This is the real world we live in. This is not some Alice in Wonderland story you living in. You're living in the real world. And unless you get yourself financially in order, you're going to be left behind. I'm going to share with you 5 things that they're saying the middle class won't be able to afford in 5 years. Won't even be able to afford these 5 things. I'm going to share with you right now. Won't even be able to afford them unless you change something in your financial life. So if I told y'all, if y'all come in here looking for somebody to tell you lies, you're in the wrong channel. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you everything, or peachy king in a bed of roses. And that's okay if you got credit card debt, you'll be fine. That's okay if you got high interest rate car loan, you'll be fine. That's okay if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you'll be fine. No, I'm not gonna lie to you like that. I'm not gonna lie to you like that. You gotta go find another channel if you want somebody to stroke your ego and to tell you everything's gonna be okay. Come lay your head on my shoulder, it'll be okay. Here's a napkin. No, that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about getting you educated so you can change something in your financial life. And if you don't want the truth, find another channel. Call it what you want to call it. I call it the truth. I don't call it doom and gloom. I call it the truth. But a lot of us can't handle the truth. We don't want to hear the truth. And that's one of the biggest problems in the United States for us. We just don't want to hear the truth. We want lies. We'd rather hear a lie over the truth. Then we're going to talk about one of your GOP governor candidates for North Carolina, black guy. We got to talk about him because we got a double standard here going on. There's some financial secrets. Someone has pulled out the skeleton closet, and you and I had these financial issues. We wouldn't be able to do much when it comes to political office. But how in the world did this guy get himself in matter of fact, he's already the lieutenant governor of North Carolina with all this stuff people done uncovered. And again, guys, I'm not picking sides here. I'm just telling you, if it was you and me, listen, you don't file taxes for 5 years. Come on, man. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to touch on the housing market. And then we're going to wrap this thing up with Americans think they pay too much in taxes. We're going to actually debunk that myth and tell you really who pays the most in taxes. Is it the middle class? Is it the 1%? Who pays the most in taxes? We're going to talk about that too to round this thing out. But let's jump on the lead story. And here is the headline. 5 things the middle class won't be able to afford in 5 years due to inflation. And basically all that's telling you is if you don't get your financial house in order, these 5 things you won't be able to afford. You can call yourself middle class, you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but if you don't get your financial house in order, these things you will not be able to afford. Let's talk about it. Let's move on. Let's see exactly what we have here. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Here we go. So it says, very interesting. The article dives into the specific areas where the middle class might be priced out in just half a decade, 5 years, if current inflationary trends persist, and they appear to be persisting. We talked about that yesterday. They appear to be persisting. Each item reflects a broader narrative of economic change and its impact on everyday life. 5 things soon to be out of reach for the middle class. Predicting the economy's future is always tricky, especially with variables like inflation. Last 3 months, guys, inflation has did what? Went up. Not huge, but slightly. But that's still not where we want it. We want it going down, but it's going back up. But I can speculate based on current trends. In 5 years, if inflation rates stay high, the middle class might struggle to afford the following. Number 1, buying a home in the most expensive cities. Matter of fact, that's buying a home anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's buying a home anywhere. The average house in the United States, guys, across the United States, maybe not in your neighborhood, but across the United States, on average, $460,000. How many of y'all out there can afford a mortgage? Let's just say you only put 10% down and you're carrying a $400,000 mortgage. How many of y'all think y'all can afford the monthly payment on a $400,000 mortgage? Do you know what that payment would be? It'll be about, with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, it'll be about $3,800 a month. Now, you got to understand the average salary for a middle-class family in the United States is $75,000. Now, how in the world are you going to afford a $3,800 mortgage? Let's just say $4,000 a month. That's almost $50,000 a year for a $400,000 mortgage at a 7.5% interest rate, when the average family only makes $75K. This is not gloom and doom. This is the truth. This is the truth. So you ain't got to even be looking for some luxury house in some pricey city. No, that's across the board in the United States. The average American cannot afford a $400,000 mortgage. Not when the average family only makes $75,000 a year. Got to get your financial house in order to start making some more money. Got to get that up. Can't be 75 anymore, guys. We got to get up to 100. If my family is making $75K right now, don't get me wrong, that's great, because there are other people in America not making $75K. But my challenge to you is get to 100. Throw in a few side hustles and get yourself to 100. Get yourself to 150. Challenge yourself. If you got, two adults in the household, everybody should be carrying their weight, in my opinion. If you got grown children in there, they should be carrying their weight. There should be no grown children living in your house that ain't contributing. That's the way I look at it. If they grown, they should be carrying some weight. And here's the deal. If they're not, you ain't teaching them anything that's going to help them in the future by letting them just live there for free and don't do nothing. Oh, that's my baby. She can stay here for 1,000 years. I'll never charge her. Okay, don't. You ain't teaching her nothing. Not about the real world, you're not. Because you ain't going to be here forever. At some point, she ain't going to be able to live with mom and daddy. She got to live on her own. He going to have to live on his own. You better start teaching them something about this real world. When it's time for them to get out there on their own in this real world. I'm just telling you, buying a home in the most expensive cities, buying a home anywhere. Property values and rents have been soaring, making home ownership, even renting, increasingly tricky in the most expensive cities. No, that's anywhere. Ain't no most expensive cities. Ain't nobody in the middle class living in no most expensive cities. Yeah, okay, I live in San Francisco, but if I'm middle class, I ain't living in San Francisco. I'm probably living on the outskirts of San Francisco, and I'm calling it San Francisco, but I'm not living right in the heart of San Francisco. No, not if I'm making $75,000, $80,000 a year, I'm not. Not if I'm making $100K a year, I'm not. Not in San Francisco. What you gonna get in San Francisco proper for under $1 million, $2 million? Come on, man. The average American family can't even afford a $400,000 mortgage. So you can't go to none of these expenses. So that's anywhere. Anywhere, rent, mortgage payments are getting more expensive. They're increasing faster than your wages. That's what you got to understand, guys. Why is that? Inflation. It's inflation. Inflation is causing prices to go up faster than your wages. That's why I keep telling y'all, you got to get yourself out here, make you some more money. You should be looking for ways to make more money. You got to increase your skill set. You got to increase your ability to make more money. You got to have secondary, thirdary, fourthary side hustles. You got to increase your income, right? You got to increase your income if you want to have a piece of this American pie, which is home ownership. Inflation is starting to make home ownership out of reach for a lot of us. A lot of us can't even afford to buy a house. A lot of us can't even afford really to rent in a really nice area that's safe. It's getting tough. It's getting tougher, guys. And why? The 1%, they don't have these problems. So they don't care what your financial plight is. They don't care that you're struggling. They don't care. Buying a home in the most expensive cities, scratch that out. Buying a home anywhere. It's going to be out of the reach of most Americans in 5 years. In 5 years. In the next 5 years, at this pace, only people who already own homes or are rich will live in these cities. Scratch that. Only the people that are rich and wealthy will own homes. The rest of us are going to be renters. I already told y'all guys across the United States, and y'all can say gloom and doom, you can say what you want to say. I'm telling you what's happening. They're building these communities, they are homes, but they're all for rent. Cookie cutter, and they're all for rent. Get your income up, get your assets up, and if you want, see, home ownership is no longer going to be a necessary thing. It's going to be a luxury item. It's not going to be it's going to be a luxury item because home prices, we don't know where they're going to go. Right now, they're still high. Even with interest rates up, they're high. What do you think is going to happen when interest rates come down? We're going to talk about the housing market here in a second because there's some conflicting data. Some say how home prices in certain cities are coming down. Some say, but let me tell you where that's coming down at in these mega cities, man. Ain't nothing coming down in no regular city. It's these mega cities prices might be coming down for these luxury houses, these millions and millions of dollar houses. But your average house in the state of Florida, guys, is $500,000. That's in Florida. That's your average home in the state of Florida. $500,000. Not no Mac Daddy mansion, just a regular schmegular. $500,000. Just telling you. I don't know how somebody at $75,000 a year can even afford you can't even afford a $500,000 house. Just telling you guys. And what they're saying at the pace, if inflation continues, outpacing our salaries, then it's going to be tough in 5 years for a lot of folks to own a home. Number two, out-of-state and private colleges. College tuition and associated costs are already a burden for many, and they could become impossible to afford in the next 5 years for those who aren't wealthy. Oh, that's okay. We'll just go get student loans. Okay. You see what's happening with student loans right now, right? Out of control. I know everybody keeps saying they're going to forgive them, and some of us do get them forgiven, but they're not going to wipe them all off the books, guys. They can't. It's still an income source. So they can't wipe them all off the books. They may wipe some off the books depending upon what type of career you go into. Maybe you're a teacher and they wipe them off the books because you became a teacher, or they wipe them off the books because you joined the military, or, something like that. But just a regular person that then went out there and got $100,000 worth of student loan debt and they making $40,000 a year, that's the part I never could understand. You go take 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 in student loans, and you come out of college, you making $40,000 a year. I don't even get that. You don't even need to go to college to make $40,000 a year. I just don't get it. I'm not sure why people go get all these student loans. Now, far as your parents paying for, or you parents paying for your child's education, I had a subscriber yesterday shot me an email and said, hey, here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, stop contributing to my kids' 529 college tuition plan program and take that money and put it in something else. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I said, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Keep that 529 going. Get you some extra money over here and invest. But keep that 529 going because we don't know what's going to happen. And I would hate for them kids to get to college age and ain't no college fund there for them. Now, they got to go work or take student loans or whatever. Don't do that. Just keep the 529. Keep saving for those kids. Guess what? If they get scholarships and they don't need it, or if they decide they don't want to go to college, guess what? That can revert back to you and put that back in your nest egg and your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But at least keep doing it. That was my opinion. That's my advice, because I'm telling you guys, college tuition, especially out of state, private schools, man, even some in-state colleges, depending upon the state you live in, can be super expensive for a middle-class family making $75,000 a year. Again, college is going to be one of those things in a lot of cases that's going to be a luxury. It's not going to be a regular schmegular thing. It's going to be a luxury, especially if the student loan thing ain't around. So just be careful, man. With inflation doing what it's doing, be careful. Let's go back to the housing thing real quick before we move on to number 3. The housing, no more than 25% of your take home, in my opinion. That's my opinion. No more than 25% of your take home, in my opinion, should be spent on a mortgage. And when you throw in the escrows, taxes and insurance, no more than 25%. That's my opinion. You do whatever you want to do. I know some of y'all are at 40 and 50% of your income going to service a mortgage. You ain't gonna never be able to save no money for retirement. You ain't gonna never be able to save no money for, that's why they always telling y'all your house is your biggest asset, because that's where all your money is going. All your money is going into that house. And if that's what you want, fine. But my whole thing is, I need to put money in assets that are gonna actually generate some income. Unless I'm gonna put all my money in this house, and then when I get to the golden years, I sell it and cross my fingers that it's worth something. That's the only way I make it with a house. But me owning a house free and clear, and I got $3,000, I got $2,000 a month in carrying costs, even if I pay the mortgage off. I still got property taxes. I still got property insurance. I still got repair and maintenance. So I still got those 3 things without the mortgage. Just saying, guys. So be careful. No more than 25% of your take home, in my opinion, should be spent on a mortgage payment. If it's more than that, I just don't think that's financially healthy for you. My opinion. Let's move on to number 3. High-end new cars and trucks. Oh, that's one near and dear to our heart, ain't it? Yeah, we love our cars. We love our big SUVs here in the United States. Not one, but 2. Not one, but 2. We ain't gonna have one SUV, we'll get 2, right? We'll carry 2 big old car payments, $500, $700, $800 a month, like it ain't nothing. And we rationalize it. Oh yeah, we need it because we gotta take the kids to volleyball. We gotta take the kids to batting practice. We gotta take them to football practice. We're going to take these trips, and we need the storage space in the back of the big SUV, blah, blah, blah. I feel safe because I sit up higher and all this other stuff, right? We do whatever we need to do mentally to convince ourselves that we should be spending this $600, $700, $800 a month on these car payments when we don't have no emergency fund. We don't have no retirement savings. We've exhausted our personal savings. And the only thing keeping this whole house of cards upright is our wages from our job. If we took those wages out, the whole house of cards would fall down. Just saying, that's my opinion. The average cost of new automobiles has grown exponentially in the past 4 years. At this pace, the cost of payments for luxury brands and high-end vehicles will be out of reach for the middle class in the coming years. It's already a statistic out there that's saying new cars, the average new car price is around $750,000 a month. Average new car price, $750 a month. $750 a month. Average new car price. Average used car price is around $525, $550, something like that. That's right now. Did you know only 10% of your take home you should be using towards your transportation? 10% of your take home. So if I'm bringing home $5,000 a month, no more than $500 should be for transportation. That includes gas, that includes insurance, that includes your car payment. Just saying, if you don't believe me, go out there and look it up. If you look up any person or any company that's helping people with budgets and put together, that's what they're going to be telling you. There's a certain amount of money you should be allotting to your mortgage payment or your rent. There should be a certain amount of money you should be allocating towards transportation. No more than 10%. Problem is, Americans are doing way more than that. Way more than 10%. Way more than that. Way, way more. So you got to be careful with the high-end cars and the trucks and the SUVs. I've always told you guys, my opinion, what you should really be thinking about is what? Just get you a nice little dependable A to B. If you got the cash, take your 5,000, 7,500, 10 grand and get you a very dependable A to B that you can put 300,000 miles on, 200,000 miles on. Easy to fix, right? Something that's easy to fix, not a bunch of hassle to get parts, not a huge labor bill. Take regular unleaded, none of this premium crap, just regular unleaded, right? Get the basic insurance on it. Drive that thing for 200,000-300,000 miles. That's what most of us should be doing when we're in the building stage of wealth. We should be doing that when we're in the building stage of wealth. Not taking $750 a month times 2, so basically $1,500 a month, because I know some of y'all families, y'all got 2 cars, some of y'all got 3 cars, got payments on all of them. I'm just saying, man, we got to get our priorities straight when it comes to our finances, right? We got to get our priorities straight. So homes, rent, mortgage, no more than 25% of your take home. Automobiles, transportation, no more than 10% of your take home, right? Let's move on to number 4, retirement savings. With the rising cost of living, retirement savings could take a back seat as immediate expenses take priority. Well, you guys already know 150 million Americans have no retirement savings. At least 150 Americans. 150 million, I'm sorry. At least 150 million Americans don't have retirement savings. Why is that? Because of these things I just mentioned. See, when you got the house, when you got the cars, right? You got the kids, you got food, you got all the ancillary things. We want to take a trip. We want to have a little bounce house in the back of the house. We want to do this. We want to do that. I got to take my kid to get private lessons so that they can learn how to do whatever better than the rest. Whatever it is, all of that takes precedence in front of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Why? Because most of us don't want to face it. We think we got time. Oh, I'm only 25. I'm only 35. I'm only 45. I'm okay. I'm not going to need that money till I'm 60. I'm not going to need that money till I'm 65. The problem is you go to bed one night, you wake up, you're 50. And you still don't got nothing in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You go to bed because life distracts you. You go to bed, wake up, you're 50 years old, and you're starting to look at retirement. You're starting to look at, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I'm underprepared for what's coming. Just telling you. I know maybe I'm not talking to anybody in here, but I'm pretty sure it's happening. I know everybody in this call, everybody on this live is buttoned down and got everything ready to go. That they got the emergency fund. They're not living in credit card debt. They're not living paycheck to paycheck. All of these things that I'm mentioning right now don't apply to them. I know I got it, guys. But the statistics say something different. The statistics say something much different. The statistics say 150 million people in this country don't have retirement savings. Why? I'm telling you why. The house, the cars, right? The luxury items, that's why. And here's where you should be. This is where I would want to be. This is a little bit of a litmus test. This is where you should be. You should look at your income today. Let's say you're making 80 grand today. You're making $80,000 a year. See, here's what you should be thinking. How do I take that 80 grand that I'm making today that I got to actually trade time for money? How do I get 80 grand with me not doing nothing? How do I do that? How do I get that 80 grand without me doing anything, right? How do I do that? How do I do that? This is what I should be working on for my golden years, right? So I take the 80 grand, I divide it by 12. That's about $6,700 per month. I take the $6,700 a month, I times it by 200. $6,700 a month, I times it by 200. That's $1.340 million. I take that $1.340 million and I times that by 6%. Okay. So if I'm making $80,000 a year over here, and I want to, but that's active income, but I want to turn that into passive income, what do I need to do in order to take 80 active and turn it into 80 passive? I need to build my net worth to almost $1.4 million. So I take this 80,000, this active income that I'm making, I take a portion of it and I put it in something that will grow it on its own and get it up to $1.4 million. I get it up to $1.4 million. I take 6%. I go find me an investment, real estate for income, dividend paying stocks, dividend paying ETFs, dividend paying index funds. I take that 1.4, I go US Treasury bond. I take that 1.4 million and I get a 6% rate of return, which will earn me $80,000 a year. I divide that by 12, there's my $6,700 a month. See, that's what we all should be working towards, to replace our income that we're making working. We want to replace that income with passive income. See, this is active income that I'm not going to be able to make for the rest of my life because I can't work for the rest of my life. But while I can work, I should be taking the money and putting it in assets that can generate $80,000 a year for me. So when I retire or when I stop working, I have a smooth transition into the rest of my life because my income doesn't change. That's what we should be doing. But yet and still, we take the 80 grand and we buy SUVs. We take the 80 grand and we go buy luxury cars. We take the 80 grand and we go buy houses that are way too big for us and way too expensive and taking up way too much of our income. We take the 80 grand and take luxury trips. We take the 80 grand and go out to dinner 5, 6, 7, 8 times a month. We take the 80 grand and go buy lottery tickets. We go take the 80 grand and go to Las Vegas. We take 80 grand, whatever we do with it, right? What we don't do with it is put it in anything that grows it for us, right? We don't do that enough. And that's the whole point of this thing, guys. With inflation doing what it's doing, guess what? You're going to get wiped out. And I know you don't want to hear that because everybody want to have a feel-good story. Everybody want to feel like they're doing okay. We're not. The truth is we're not doing okay in this country. We're way behind the 8 ball. We got the best financial system in the world. We have the best assets in the world. Best financial system, best economy, best assets, best ability to earn income, but yet and still, 150 million of our citizens, the people that live here, have zero in retirement. Best economy, best opportunity to build wealth, best assets, but we choose to spend every dime we get until the end. And then that's when we panic. Oh my God, I'm 50. What am I gonna do? Well, you should have thought about that when you was 25. You should have thought about that when you was 30. You should have thought about that when you was 35. But at 50, guess what you gotta do? You gotta get to work. I get people email me, DM me all the time, 50 years old and older. And I tell them all the same thing. Long as you still here breathing and above ground, make it happen. What you waiting on? Oh, I'm 60. Isn't that too old? Are you breathing? Are you above ground? Well, I don't think it's too late then. Might be too late if you're not breathing and you're below ground. It might be too late. But if you're above ground and you're breathing, might not be too late. Just get started. Don't worry about it. Give yourself a timeline. Okay, I'm 60. By the time I'm 70, I want me a couple $100,000 in net worth. I want me 250 in net worth. What do I need to do, Richard, to do that? Okay, this is what you need to do. Boom. That's what you need to do. Do that for 10 years. You'll be at your $250,000. Well, how do I do that? Get out there and make more income. Well, I'm retired. Unretire. You want the 250. I'm just telling you what you got to do to get it. Don't get mad at me because I'm telling you to unretire. Yeah, unretire. Find something you can do that you enjoy doing and turn it into income. No one says you got to get back on the hamster wheel. No one says you got to get back in the rat race, but you do got to get back in the active income race. Because see, you're retired and you ain't got enough. You didn't prepare well enough. So you got to get out of the passive and get back active. But get back active in something that you like doing. Just turn it into an income stream. Gentlemen emailed me the other day, hey, Richard, what can I do to make more money? Well, I asked him, well, what do you like doing when you ain't working? This. I said, okay, you got 4 things. Turn them into income. See, we know what we need to do. We just ain't putting 2 to 2 together. Whatever you enjoy doing, turn it into income. That's the easiest way to make money, guys. Whatever you enjoy doing that you're not monetizing, monetize it. We all like doing stuff. We're just not monetizing it. This thing is not that hard. It's not that hard. Let's move on to the last thing, number 5. Number 5, leisure travel. See, that's where most of the $2 trillion in pandemic savings went. See, we had $2 trillion in pandemic savings in 2021. But when they opened the country back up and all these other countries opened back up, we jumped on them planes, boy, and went to flying all over the place. Because you know why? Because people started getting a little bit of sense of, you know something, tomorrow's not promised to me. This pandemic thing freaked me out. What if I'm gone and I haven't enjoyed Paris? What if I'm gone and I haven't enjoyed the Cayman Islands? What if I'm gone and I haven't enjoyed wherever you want to go, right? I haven't taken this cruise around the world. I haven't taken, I haven't did this, I haven't done that. What if I'm gone? I need to get my experiences now. Forget that money stuff. The money's not important. I just want my experiences. I want my memories. See, the problem with that is when you get to my age, your memories ain't gonna take care of you. They're not. They're not gonna pay the light bill. I don't care if you got the best memories in the world. They're not gonna put no food in your stomach. They're not gonna put no gasoline in the car. All the memories ain't gonna do any of that. So you can live your life for memories, but when you get to my age and it's time to have some money to pay for something, the memories ain't gonna pay for it. I can't go to the grocery store and pay them with memories. I can't go to CVS, pick up my prescription and pay them with memories. They don't want memories. They want good old greenback. Just telling you guys, I get it. We all want to have memories. We all want experiences. But you got to understand, none of that stuff is going to take care of you when you get to the golden years. None of that stuff is going to take care of you when you can't work. None of it. None of it's going to take care of you. So do whatever you want to do. It's your life. But I'm just telling you all this experience stuff and all this. Oh, I'm on Instagram. Oh, I'm on the Eiffel Tower. Oh, catch me, get me a selfie. None of that stuff gonna pay for nothing when you get to a place where you can't earn anymore actively. When those days are over, you're gonna need some money. You're gonna need some assets. So all I'm telling you, you better prioritize what's important to you. You can sit up here and get trapped in this, oh, life's too short. I'm gonna have me some memories. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Spend all your money on memories. I'm not sure how they're gonna pay for anything down the road, but go ahead and spend all your money on memories. Me personally, I'm gonna put my money in assets and still get me some memories too. See, I ain't gonna make no excuses. I'm just gonna put my money in assets and along the way, get me a few memories. See, for me, I don't need to go on no lavish vacation to get no memories. All I need to do is spend 5 or 10 minutes with my children. Those are all the memories I need. I don't need no memories in the Eiffel Tower. I don't need no memories on no cruise ship in Jamaica. I don't need no memories, none of that. Only memories I need is my children. That's it. My family, spending time with them one-on-one, breaking bread, laughing, talking about their life, telling them how much I love them. I know all that other crap y'all be talking about, these memories and taking these crazy vacations and skiing, like that's gonna really, ooh. All right, let me move on. All right, so those are the 5 things. They're telling you as a middle-class person, you're in trouble. You better get your income up. You better get your assets up. If that's gloom and doom to you, well, that's gloom and doom. I'm just telling you it's the real world. It's the truth. But we can't handle the truth in this country. We want to lie. We will take a lie over the truth any day if it means we ain't got to do nothing. We'll take it. We will take it. Well, all right, let's move on to our GOP North Carolina governor nominee. Let's talk about this brother. And again, I ain't criticizing him. I don't know him. Everything is allegedly. I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm reading an article from ABC News. Let everybody know. So I don't need nobody down in the comment section on me about this gentleman. I'm just reading the article and giving you my commentary. Everything's alleged. I don't know this gentleman, but all I know is some don't smell right to me. Here we go. Here's the headline. Bankruptcy documents detail how GOP North Carolina governor nominee Mark Robinson failed to file federal income taxes for 5 years. Allegedly. Now, let me ask you a question. You and me, if we didn't file for 5 years, what would be happening to us? Okay, I'm just going to ask that question. We'll keep going. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor. This gentleman is already the Lieutenant Governor, second in charge of the state of North Carolina. Already. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson has been open about some of his past financial challenges, including non-payment of debts and failure to pay rent. Now, if I'm a lieutenant governor, do I need any of that hanging over me? If I'm the second guy in charge of a state, I got to be in charge of the budget. I got to be in charge of the money coming in. I got to be in charge of the money going out. Do I really need that hanging over me? If I'm in that position, I don't know. Just let's keep reading. I'm just reading an article, giving you my little play-by-play. He's also, throughout his political rise, rallied against the social safety net and disparaged those who have relied on government assistance. Hold up now. Hold up. So you Okay, you allegedly ain't paid your taxes in 5 years, allegedly, but yet and still you are allegedly against giving people a hand up when they need one in this country. Okay, let me just keep reading. Let me keep reading here. While on his way to clinching the Republican gubernatorial nomination in the state, and while Robinson has previously talked about his financial issues, bankruptcy records obtained by ABC News paint a more dire and detailed picture of his financial business history than has previously been disclosed, including new details regarding how the potential future governor had failed to file his federal income taxes for 5 consecutive years, starting in 1998. So back before he became a big dog. Before he became a big dog, big political dog, he was just a normal, regular schmegler like us. Allegedly, he was a normal, regular schmegler like us, allegedly, and he forgot to pay some taxes for about 5 years. Allegedly. I know. In his autobiography, We Are the Majority, Robinson wrote that his wife decided to open a daycare center in 2000, and that by God's grace, it became extremely successful. Small business with his wife. It became extremely successful. Robinson was blessed to start, run, and sell a successful small business with his wife, according to the Lieutenant Governor's office website, which is amazing. That's the American dream. You start a business, you scale it, you sell that thing, get you a bunch of a golden parachute. Right? That's part of the American dream, right? Nothing wrong with that. As the daycare grew, according to the book, Robinson would go on to leave his job working as an aviation company and stop taking college courses in order to work on the surging business full time. So he had a regular job working in an aviation company. He was also taking some college classes. He decided to give that up because the business started growing. Nothing wrong with that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Soon, she was no longer able to operate the business out of her home. So the business continued to grow. And at some point, they couldn't operate the business out of the home and moved to a freestanding building, Robinson wrote of his wife. So the business kept growing. They moved out, got them a brick and mortar building, right? No longer a house business, but a real legit brick and mortar business, own freestanding building. Great. American dream so far. In the book, Robinson, who became North Carolina's first Black lieutenant governor in 2020, described the business as running well and said that we paid our bills on time. This is what he allegedly put in the book. Allegedly, he put in the book, the business was running well. We paid our bills on time, while also noting it was tough business to keep afloat. The book, however, fails to mention Robinson filing for bankruptcy a few years after opening the daycare. Right? According to the United States Bankruptcy Court, Middle District of North Carolina, Mark and Yolanda Robinson, doing business as Precious Beginnings, filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy on January 8, 2003. Robinson had previously filed for bankruptcy on 2 other occasions in 1998 and 1999. Hold up now. Okay. Guys, listen, I'm just asking a question. You're the lieutenant governor of a great state like North Carolina. You're trying to be the governor. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff because at the top of the food chain, you're responsible for the budget. You're responsible for everything financial. for that state. And again, allegedly, Precious Beginnings filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy on January 8, 2003. Robinson had previously filed for bankruptcy on 2 other occasions, 98 and 99. In seeking bankruptcy protection, the Robinson family described a series of grave economic circumstances according to their 2003 filing. The family faced the repossession of 2 vehicles. Oh, we just covered that. Didn't we just cover that? See, I just want to let y'all know the real world here. This guy's getting ready to be the governor of the state of North Carolina. And guess what? He used to be a regular schmegular person. And guess what? Buying these things, guess what they got him? Guess what they got the soon-to-be governor of the great state of North Carolina? Regular person at that time, though. He wasn't this bigwig. He was a regular person just like you and me. And guess what he went through? Exactly what we just got through discussion in the last segment. See, y'all think I'd be okay. Okay. According to their 2003 filing, the family faced the repossession of 2 vehicles and the impending foreclosure of their Greensboro home. Hold on, man. So let me get this straight. You got to thrive in business. Thriving. That's what he said in the book. Thriving. I've not read the book. This is all alleged. I'm reading an article from ABC. So I don't know any of this firsthand. I'm going by what the article said, but I am giving my interpretation of the article. So in the article, it says the business was doing good. Now the article quotes the book. The book says they were doing great. Then apparently business must have hit some hard times somewhere. Had 2 cars, allegedly, according to the article, 2 cars that were in the bankruptcy filing that were about to go bad, and then had a pending foreclosure on their home, or a Greensboro home. I don't know if it was their primary, but a Greensboro home. The records also show that at the time, Robinson had just $70 to his name, $40 in cash and $30 in savings, as well as $4,720 in personal property. They also reported debts surpassing $1 million, including $290,525 in unsecured debts and $871,550 in secured debts. So when you file these bankruptcies, you got to list all your assets and all your liabilities, guys. It's public record. So it's public record. You can go look this up. It's public record, right? Now, I'm not going to go do all of that because guess what? That's not my intent to figure out all that. My intent here is just to show y'all that people have things going on that you and I could easily have going on. But yet and still, this guy's getting ready to go to the governorship. So what is our excuse? He done had all these financial problems, and this man finna be the next governor of the great state of North Carolina. I'm trying to tell y'all, guys. Trying to tell you. Robinson, and he black. Oh, black people, we can't do nothing. They got us, they don't want to let us do nothing. They ain't gonna give us no opportunity. They ain't gonna give us no chance. This dude done filed bankruptcy 3 times. Allegedly filed bankruptcy 3 times. Allegedly, he owed $1 million on the last one. And this man finna be the governor of the great state of North Carolina here very shortly. And he black. What's our excuse? What's our excuse? Robinson, according to the documents, had also failed to file income taxes for 5 years. After filing for bankruptcy in 2003, the Internal Revenue Service filed a motion for the bankruptcy court to compel Robinson to file taxes for the years 1998 to 2002. Now, again, I don't know why he didn't file his taxes. Maybe they tell us in this article, maybe they don't. But again, the point is, even with all this, he's going to be the governor of North Carolina. And he black. Just wanted to throw that in there because I know sometimes we get here, they ain't gonna let me do nothing. I had one credit card ding and they ain't gonna help me. I can't do nothing else. I got one credit card derogatory. I got a charge off and I'm done for the rest of my life. I got one charge off. This dude done filed bankrupt, allegedly, 3 times, allegedly, ain't filed taxes for 5 years. Allegedly owed $1 million and still finna be the governor of the great state of North Carolina. Okay, let's keep going. The United States of America, by its counsel, the United States Attorney for the Middle District of North Carolina respectfully moves the bankruptcy court for an order compelling debtor Mark Keith Robinson to furnish to the Internal Revenue Service income taxes for the taxable years 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, or in the alternative for an order dismissing this case with prejudice. The motion reads, due to Mr. Robinson's failure to file federal individual income taxes for those years, the Internal Revenue is unable to file an accurate proof of claim and to determine whether he is remaining current with respect to unpaid taxes. Robinson ultimately filed his back taxes in May of 2003. In October 2003, Robinson lost their Chapter 13 bankruptcy protection due to the failure of the debtors to comply with the requirements of the plan, according to the records. In a statement to ABC News, Robinson campaign communications director Mike, whatever his name is, said this is old news recycled by Democrats and their allies in the press to distract the voters. Lieutenant Governor Robinson has made no secret about his financial challenges in his past. The statement said, as a former factory worker who lost his job due to NAFTA and had his home foreclosed and was even forced into bankruptcy, Lieutenant Governor has overcome many challenges, financial and others, in the past. He's lived the struggles that families across North Carolina are facing every day. North Carolinians are ready for a governor who will be focused on solutions to their problems, not another career politician climbing the ladder from office to office. I ain't gonna even read the rest of it because it goes on for the next 10 years. So we're gonna let that go. But there you go. What's our excuse? Now, the question you got to ask yourself, if you live in the state of North Carolina, are you comfortable with that history, alleged history, being the chief of your state, right? Because he's the chief, he's the governor. Everything underneath him is not the chief. He's the chief. So are you comfortable with that? State of North Carolina, the people in North Carolina gotta answer that question, right? My point here is, what's our excuse? He done had all this financial difficulty and this guy's still finna become the governor of North Carolina. What's our excuse? There shouldn't be no excuse. We should just get out here and make it happen just like he did. He made some allegedly, he made some financial problems. Rebounded pretty good, if you ask me, getting ready to be the governor of North Carolina. And then probably, who knows where he's gonna have his eyes set after that. Could be the White House. Who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just telling you. This country loves giving people second chances and third chances. I don't know. If you and I didn't pay ours in today's environment, would we have gotten all these? Maybe. I don't know. Obviously he did. Obviously he's overcome all of that. And he's getting ready to be the governor of North Carolina, or at least potentially, right? He's the GOP candidate. He'll be going against somebody. But guarantee you this, somebody must be pushing him. Because that's a lot. That's a lot. So there's something going on. But the main point is, what's our excuse? What holds us back? Nothing didn't hold him back. And he black, getting ready to be the governor in the great state of North Carolina. So you and I don't have no reason why we can't rebuild, get back up, dust ourselves off, build wealth, do what we need to do to get to our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So let's move on. Let's get to the housing market and then we're going to button this thing up. Appreciate y'all sticking in there with me, hanging in there with me. Let's get to the housing market, because there's some interesting stuff in this particular piece. And here's the headline: Housing Market 2024. Home prices are plummeting in 10 formerly overpriced housing markets. That's the key, guys. Not the whole country. Formerly overpriced housing markets. And Florida probably is in there. Measured against the normal metrics, the U.S. is in the middle of a Measured against the normal metrics, the U.S. is in the middle of a really weird housing market right now. Existing home sales in 2023 fell by 19% from the prior year to their lowest level in nearly 3 decades, according to the National Association of Realtors. Normally, slow sales lead to lower prices. Yet, as the Wall Street Journal reported, a lack of inventory pushed home prices to record highs. So not only did we have a reduction in real estate sales, but home prices remain high because we had low inventory. We've talked about that before. That low inventory is what's propping up home prices, right? That's the only thing really propping it up. The lack of inventory pushed home prices to record highs last year and made home purchases prohibitively expensive for many prospective buyers. Though high prices could remain in 24, the CEO of House Buyers of America expects average home prices in the U.S. to rise around 3 to 4% this year. See, here's what I'm telling you guys, just like what I talked about earlier when we talked about housing. These people still got home prices going up more. Now, maybe not in every market, and I'm sure they're going to get to the markets that they don't believe, but on average, this guy right here is saying in 2024, CEO of House Buyers of America expects average home prices in the U.S. to rise another 3 to 4% this year. But at some point in 24, I see a slowdown in price growth. He wrote in an email comment to Go Banking Rates. The slowdown will be due to a combination of factors, such as rising interest rates, an increase in the supply of homes, a decrease in demand and affordability challenges for buyers. I'm not sure about this whole decrease in rates. We got to get the Fed to reduce short-term interest rates before long-term interest rates will reduce. So I don't know. I don't buy this thing about reduction in rates just yet, because 30-year fixed rate mortgage rates are not going to come down until Fed funds rate comes down. It's not. So that reduction in rates, not going to happen unless Fed fund rates come down, right? But let's keep reading. Let's keep reading to see exactly what he has to say, and I'll tell you what my opinion on it is. The slowdown will be due to a combination of factors such as rising interest rates, an increase in the supply of homes, a decrease in demand, and affordability challenges for buyers. That said, I'm not anticipating a drop in prices nationwide. Rising construction costs and a slowing economy as a result of prolonged high interest rates will also impact the housing market in 24. Nationally, home prices in February rose 0.3% year over year to a median price of $415,000. I just mentioned almost an hour ago that the average price in the United States was $420,000 for a house. Backed up right here on the $1 trillion research lab. That's backed up exactly what I said earlier in this conversation, that the average home in America is $420,000. Boom, it just got backed up. Nationally, home prices rose in February 0.3% year over year to a median price of $415,500. Now, how in the world, if you're making $75,000 a year, you're going to afford that? How in the world, if you're making $80,000 a year, you're going to afford that? Listen, man, you got to be well over $100,000 a year. Well over to afford a $400,000 mortgage. Well over. So if you so why stretch yourself and neglect everything else in your life? Why do that? Why stretch yourself and neglect every other area of your life? What's more important, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow or some house? What's more important to you? That's what you got to ask yourself. What's more important to you, some house or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that generate income? I don't know. Y'all got to answer that question. I know the answer for me. I know what it is for me. Nationally, home prices in February rose 0.3% year over year to a median price of $415,500, according to Realtor.com. Legit information, Realtor.com. But there are places where home prices are falling, and they've scattered across different regions of the country. A lot of the housing inventory that's coming onto the market is in more affordable price tier, said Realtor.com. When you have more affordable listings coming onto the market, it's also going to push down the overall price. The number of homes for sale increased in all but 2 of the top markets where prices are falling, as Realtor.com noted. When there are more options for buyers to choose from, prices tend to moderate, which is true. I agree. You get more inventory, guys, you get more what? Competition. More inventory means sellers get more competition. When sellers have more competition, more inventory, buyers have more to choose from, prices come down. They're hitting a nail right on the head. Meanwhile, prices have also fallen in pricey West Coast markets such as California, Silicon Valley. Those areas are very closely tied to the tech industry, and tech has been on a bit of a roller coaster over the last couple of years. Prices fell sharply in those metro areas during the pandemic as workers began working remotely and moving to cheaper parts of the country. We're at a point in time where your experience in real estate markets depends on where you live. It's more local now than it has been at other points in time. There are 10 markets that have seen a dip in prices this year. Portland, Oregon is one of them. Median home price in Portland is $600K, guys. Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. San Francisco, median price in San Francisco, $989,000. Remember I told y'all a few minutes ago, if you're living in San Francisco and you make, did I tell y'all the average price in San Francisco is about $1 million, $2 million, $3 million? Who can afford that? Who can afford that? A regular middle-class family can't afford that, right? San Antonio, Texas, $335,000. So if you're somebody that's trying to find somewhere to live, to get a big bang for your buck, San Antonio, Texas, guys, $335,000 is the average median price for a house in San Antonio, Texas. Put that on your short list. Raleigh, North Carolina, $440,000 average price. Not bad, not bad. Not good as San Antonio, but not bad. San Jose, California, average price $1.367 million. You better bring a suitcase full of money if you're moving to San Jose. You better have a suitcase. Denver, Colorado, $610,000. Kansas City, Missouri, $421,000. Average price for a home in Kansas City, Mo. Not bad. Woo! Cincinnati, Ohio, one of my favorite cities in the country. Average house, $337,000. That's in San Francisco. I'm sorry, that's in Cincinnati, Ohio. Put that one on the short list. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, $323,000. That's the cheapest we've seen. If you don't mind tornadoes, because you're going to be in the tornado alley if you move to Oklahoma. You're going to be in tornado alley. If you don't mind tornadoes, put it on the short list. Miami, Florida, $550,000. Average home in Miami, Florida. That's Miami. Miami. That's a lot. That's a lot. So there you go, man. There's your little update for the housing market. I've given y'all some places in the country that are under $400,000 for a house. But did you see anything in the twos? Nope. Nope. Didn't see nothing in no twos. Them days gone. Gone. The lowest thing I saw was 323. And I think that was in Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was in Cincinnati. And I love Cincinnati. Great blue collar town. Loved it. I played with the Cincinnati Bengals in '91. Loved that town. Great people, great fans. Love that town. All right, last piece of business before we let y'all out of here is Americans think they pay too much in taxes. Here's who pays the most and least to the IRS. When you guys want to know that, that's a bit of information to know. Most Americans think they pay too much in federal income taxes. And about 6 in 10 mistakenly believe middle income households shoulder the highest tax burden. Well, I guess I thought that, I'm thinking that, but I guess I'm wrong. At least they're going to try to tell me I'm wrong. Here we go. In fact, only about 18% of adults correctly identified the group facing the highest federal tax burden, which are high-income Americans, according to a January poll from AP Norc. Now, when they say high-income, guys, they're talking about W-2 folks. But I've been telling y'all all along, high-income folks, W-2 folks, they get hit the worst. So if you're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, you're a W-2, you're getting killed. You're getting killed if you ain't got some type of write-offs. You are getting crushed. With less than 1 week left to file taxes for 23, taxes are on the mind of millions of Americans, with many expecting refunds and others owing money, like your boy, owe money. Only about 27% of taxpayers believe their federal income taxes are fair, with 60% believing their burden is too high. Of course, right? Of course. People are going to think they always pay too much. They don't want to pay nothing. How in the world a country going to work? We already don't collect but $4 trillion in taxes, and our doggone budget is $7 trillion. In fact, the U.S. tax system is designed to be progressive, meaning that lower income Americans pay a smaller share of their income in federal taxes than high income workers. You noticed high income workers. You ain't hear him say nothing about business owners. You ain't hear him say nothing about business owners. See what I'm saying? They just said high income workers. That's a code word for W-2 workers. So all of you W-2 workers out there making all of this top line money, you paying the most taxes. I guarantee you're going to be paying the most taxes. Watch this. I'm going to keep reading though, but I guarantee that's my guess. That's my guess. In fact, the U.S. tax system is designed to be progressive, meaning that lower income Americans pay a smaller share of their income in federal taxes than high income workers. Rising, let's see here. Rising another dollar from someone who is higher income is not going to be as much of a burden to them as raising another dollar from someone who is lower income. At the same time, there's a push for some lawmakers and policy experts to boost tax rates for the rich, with President Joe Biden proposing the reverse a rate cut on the nation's top earners that was part of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Under Biden's proposal, the top marginal rate would return to 39.6 from its current 37. In 2001, the most recent data available, the typical earner paid $14,279 in federal income taxes, with an average tax rate of 14.9%. Federal taxes don't include payroll tax that covers Social Security and Medicare, but it's the top 50% of earners who contribute almost all of the nation's federal taxes, nearly 90 28%. The bottom 50% who individually make below $46,000 annually account for about 2.3% of the country's tax receipts. Whoa. Whoa. There you go. I keep telling you, high income W-2 folks, man. High income W-2 folks. Of course, this excludes the impact of other taxes that aren't as progressive, such as state and local sales tax, which are levied at the same rate on every consumer, regardless of their income level. That means low-income Americans pay a bigger share of their earnings towards sales tax than higher-earning individuals. So, sales tax, state income tax, they don't have that progressive scale where lower-income folks pay less, higher-income folks pay more. Don't. So here you go. Here's the bracket we all been waiting on, right? So it says top 1%. Top 1% of earners. Average rate, 29.9%. Share of total taxes paid, 45.8%. Income threshold for each group, 682,577. So top 1% of earners pay 45.8%, right, of their income. Top 1% of earners. That's a lot, guys. Top 5% of earners pay 65.6%. Top 10% pay 75.8%, and so on and so forth. So as you get down to the top 50% of earners and up, they pay 97.7% of the taxes. The top 50% of earners. The top 1% pay about 25.9%. The top 5% pay 23.3%, and down to the top 50%, they pay 16.2%. But overall, when you add up the top 50% of earners, they pay almost 98% of the taxes in our country. And if you're in that top 1%, you pay about 26% of the taxes. Top 5%, they pay 23%, and so on and so forth. So that, you know, if you're making under $50,000 a year, if you're making under $46,000 a year, you're only paying 2.3% of the taxes. There's a lot of people in this country that make under $46,000 a year, guys. So it's true. The top wage earners, W-2 earners, they pay the most taxes. They pay the most taxes. Man, that's pretty interesting little tidbit, because I know a lot of us think, oh, it's just the middle class, and I was one of those. But I still say we're middle class. I still say if you're making less than $100K a year, I still say that's middle class, right? So you're talking about, that would be 75% of the people, 75% of the people would be considered middle class. Yep. So it's a lot for our W-2 earner is what I'm saying. You got to find ways to be able to reduce those tax liabilities for you high income earners. The way I did it, I used real estate. So when I was making a good amount of money, when I was working in banking, I had 5 or 6 properties. So I got depreciation. I got other things I was able to, all the capital improvements I was able to write off, right? And various other things. So all I'm saying, the interest, all that stuff at the end of the year always ended up with some negative on the real estate portfolio. It was always negative, especially because of the depreciation. It was always negative. So I just be able to take that negative and just take that off of whatever my taxable income was. So I had some write-offs. I had things in place to help me reduce my tax liability because I was a highly compensated or a high income earner based on this chart. I was a high income earner based on this chart. I was in the top 10%, right? I was in the top 10% of earners. So my average tax rate would have been about 21.5%. I reduce that through the real estate portfolio, right? And some other things. I itemize my taxes and some other things. So my point is, get with your CPA. If you're a highly compensated individual and you're paying a bunch of taxes, get with your CPA, figure out a strategy to find some deductions that are legitimate, right? That meet the IRS tax code. Get you some deductions, try to reduce that taxable liability. As a business owner, I don't have to worry about that too much, because as a business owner, you know, you got the business over here. And I'm a S corp, so whatever the profit from the business is, it just rolls over to my 1040 tax returns, and that's what I'm taxed on, right? But I don't, you know, there's ways to certainly take advantage of whatever the tax code allows me to take advantage of, so I don't have to pay a bunch of taxes. I still pay taxes, but I just only want to pay my fair share. That's where most people are. That's where I am. I just want to pay my fair share. I don't mind paying my taxes. I just want to pay my fair share, right? And I think most people are kind of on that wavelength. But having a business really helps, because the tax code, in my opinion, is kind of set up for businesses, right? We get the best treatment. Well, guys, I appreciate you stopping in today. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here, if you don't mind. Again, if you want 7 free stocks from Moomoo, they're going to give you 7 free stocks when you open a Moomoo brokerage account. Put $100 in there. They're going to give you the Magnificent 7 fractional shares, 7 of them, just for opening the account, putting $100 in there and trying their brokerage app. My recommendation is, if you want to build wealth, you want to rock with me, get down to that description box, open up your Moomoo account today, put you some money in it, get your Magnificent 7 fractional shares. And then what I would do at that point is, if you like the Magnificent 7, continue buying fractional shares of them. You're talking about 7 companies that are in the top 15 companies from a market cap. They're the world's largest companies, guys. 7. We have 7 of the top 15. And they're all in the Magnificent 7. They're going to give you those for free. Just put $100 in your account, and they're going to give you fractional shares of the Magnificent 7. And then, like I said, put more money in there. Keep buying. Keep building wealth. We just talked about a whole bunch of stuff here when it comes to inflation. We just talked about taxes, right? We talked about this lieutenant governor out of North Carolina who done had allegedly all these things financially happen to him. And guess what? The guy's still getting ready to be the governor of North Carolina. So there ain't no excuses why we can't build wealth. We can. We just got to go out and do it. No one's stopping us, right? No one's stopping us. This guy's a black guy. I mean, an African-American from America. Had a bunch of, allegedly had a bunch of financial trouble early on, recovered, and now he's finna be the governor of the great state of North Carolina. So no excuses, guys. No excuses. We talked about the housing market, backed up everything that I've said about the housing market when it comes to prices, when it comes to what's going to happen with prices, and what it comes to when it comes to, you're talking about the average home cost, backed up by this article that I just read you guys. So hopefully you'll take some of this information, guys, and put a plan together to get yourself out of harm's way. We don't know what inflation is going to do. We don't know what interest rates are going to do. What I do know, over 25 years of doing this, I do got a good idea what the stock market will do. I got a good idea what assets will do, because I've been investing in assets for the last 25 years. Get yourself some assets that actually generate income when you do nothing. Take that active income you're making and switch it out for some passive income. But the only way you switch out the active income for passive income, you got to do what? You got to take your active income and buy assets. That's why it's so important you click on that Moomoo link, get yourself signed up so you can start buying some assets. The Magnificent 7 may not be a bad place to start. And again, they're expensive, most of them, but you don't have to buy a whole share. You can buy a fractional share using the Moomoo app. You don't have to buy a whole share. You can buy a fractional share and build up to a whole share. The key is taking $1,000, matter of fact, taking $100, $200, $500, $1,000 a month, and consistently buying assets, and you do that for 10 years, I think you'd be better off net worth wise 10 years from now you are today if you be consistent. So if you're interested in that, click on that Moomoo link down in the description box. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram. Instagram link down in the description box. Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor. Go follow me on Instagram and then send me a DM letting me know that you rock with me, and y'all know I rock with you. So I appreciate that. Also, guys, website coming out tomorrow. Richard Fame Millionaire website. Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor website's coming out tomorrow. Lot of good stuff, a lot of good financial tools going to be on that website to help you guys get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I'm going to link the website address down in the description box tomorrow. So when I come on tomorrow morning for the live stream at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, April 12th, website link will be down there, and I would appreciate you guys go check it out and let me know what you think about it. It's still going to be under construction in some areas of the website, but don't let that bother you. We're working on it. We're going to have that all ironed out and ready to go in a week or two, right? We got a really lot of good stuff that's going to be happening on that website, and I'm so excited and looking forward to it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you rocking with me. I appreciate you stopping by the channel. I appreciate you listening to my opinion today. That's all it was, my opinion. I don't have anything against nobody. I don't pick no sides. I just give you information that I believe can help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And if you appreciate that, lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here. Before you bounce up out of here, lock it in with a thumbs up before you bounce. Do me that big favor. Lock it in with a thumbs up, guys, before you bounce up out of here. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. I'll catch you guys on the next one.